Yeah, a couple of months ago. But a couple of months ago, all right, a couple of months ago, my wife and I were up at a little mountain lake where we like to take our little bitty 10-foot John boat out for, come on now. Come on now, talk normal, would you?
Well, I mean, you're doing things that you don't normally do, you know.
I am?
Yeah, and here in Congo.
I know. Well, because I'm holding this thing. All right, you want to know? I'll tell you.
I was invited over to a home in South America, Brazil, South America, where they speak Portuguese, a sister language to Spanish. The home was located next to a field that was much like the one you're looking at here, which is in Indiana. And the woman of the house was telling me that sometimes they had cobras come into their home. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. I would never live anywhere where that kind of thing was going on. Yet she seemed to think that it was no big deal. She says sometimes they come into the home and they have to catch them and take them outside and release them. I was shocked when I heard this, and I walked around the house as she showed the place to me, and her husband and some of the other men I was with were talking out in the front yard. I looked around for the places where a cobra might be able to get into the house. I've just walked down this old railroad structure here. Used to bridge a railroad across a stream. And I'm going to walk in here. I'd like you to come with me. Whoops, that's what I'm looking for. This fence here. See that old fence? Well, I want to take you into one that's set up a little bit better than that in here. Now we're looking for a fence where I saw that South American, that Brazilian cobra. Only I'm looking for the fence that is like the fence that I want to show you. I'll just take you with me. Got a small avioneta flying above us. Avion, like the word aviation, and ave, which means bird. So you can see how it all comes together. Ave, avioneta, small plane, and aviation. So an aviator, you might say, is a bird, a flyer, a pilot. Well, as I'm walking along this dry arroyo, I'm not seeing the fence I'm looking for. Cerca is the word for fence. And cerca is also the word for close. La cerca no está cerca. You got that figured out? The fence is not close. La cerca no está cerca. A lot of times you'll see a date like an old painting or a sculpture or some historical event, and it'll say circa, C-I-R-C-A, circa 200 A.D. That means about, close to 200 A.D. And circa is Latin. Cerca is Spanish.
Cascabeles, cascabeles, hoy es Navidad. Es un día de alegría y de felicidad. Cascabeles, cascabeles, hoy es Navidad. Es un día de alegría y de felicidad.
My wife and I, a couple of months ago, were up at a mountain lake, and as we were driving away from it, I thought I saw a stick move. And I stopped, looked in the rear view or the side view mirror of the truck, and what did I see but a snake? It was, as I backed up closer and rolled down my window to take a look, a timber rattlesnake here in the mountains of Pennsylvania. My wife was not excited about this. She thought that I would be smart to back up over that snake and kill it. I did not do that. When I got back to work, since we have lots of hunters and fishermen out here in Pennsylvania, I asked 2 or 3 outdoorsmen what they would have done in that case. Would they have killed the rattlesnake? Every one of the guys said no. And some pointed out that a snake does us some favors by eating various pests. Therefore, the rattlesnake is alive and well, as far as I know.
Oh man, it looks like I'm going to have to walk to the back of that field over there. Oh, that's okay. Okay, so we have arrived at the cerca, right there. Now, this is a typical old cerca that you'll see on farms throughout our country and through other countries. And that day that the Brazilian woman was showing me around their casa, she then took me around to the front of their house to show me such a cobra. And I thought, oh man, I still cannot believe this. So here's what I saw. Something about that big. Well, of course, that's just a stick I put there. But what I'm trying to show you is, see, it's only about a foot long. And that's about as long as that cobra was that they were showing me on the cerca in front of their casa. And then I realized something. And this is why I'm taking so much time with this part of the lesson today. We were speaking Portuguese. Now, I already knew this, but I learned it even better. When a word sounds just like another word, it may not mean much at all the same thing. I looked at that and I realized in an instant, oh, it's not a cobra like we think in English. For them, cobra means a snake. Not a poisonous snake or a scary snake, just even a little old snake. And that's what it was. Una culebra, as we would say in Spanish. Una culebrita, a little culebra. So there was nothing to worry about. No big deal that they sometimes had those cobras come into their house. You can imagine those Brazilians thinking, why is this guy from the United States so into this? What is the big deal? Are those people afraid of every little thing?
Tell us about the guy, about the truck driver.
Well, he was actually the assistant sales manager of a bakery that I used to work for.
You need to back up, because that my voice wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a guy named Bill. He was the assistant sales manager at a old bakery that I worked for years back.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, which one am I telling? No, scratch.
This guy I worked with.
There was a guy I used to work with named Bill. We worked at an old bakery.
I mean, your voice sounds like it's not like you.
Tell me when to go.
Okay, yeah, I used to work with this guy,
Oh, I used to work with the... All right. I used to work with a guy who... Don't tell me that. That's not how I even want to start. Okay. All right. I used to work for an old bakery whose assistant sales manager was named Bill. Bill, one day in the summer, was driving a van out to a campground to deliver some bread. He had the driver's side window down, and he was hearing a noise outside. Boom, 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 boom. And he wondered what it was. He leans his head out the window and looks at the front left tire, and a snake is viciously attacking the tire.
Like, how did he lean his head out?
And then he sees that snake. It is laying under the van tire. Very angry?
Like
Yeah, something
under
like
the tire,
that.
like right like that.
Exactly. Yes. Except
And?
that's the back tire. Yeah.
That's the front tire.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, Bill was leaning out the window. The snake was in a very foul mood. It was attacking the tire. I have heard that a snake can actually deflate a tire by sinking its fangs into it.
Come on.
Yeah, but in this case, what happened was, well, I said to Bill, "What did you do?" And he said, "I rolled the window slowly back up."
Well, let's work our way back around this arroyo. I've already come through the field. And the arroyo almost is no more. There's a little bit there. We're walking where normally we wouldn't be able to walk. Hola. Here, we'll be able to get up here. Kind of like a field trip. Sometimes part of the whole thing is going and coming. Oh, these are big steps. Oh, okay. So we'll leave behind el arroyo and this old puente that used to have a ferrocarril running over the top of it and a tren, but now it's over there. See, there's that puente. That's one side of the puente, and the other side el ferrocarril up on top, but there's no tren, not yet. R con R cigarro, R con R barril, rápido ruedan los carros del ferrocarril.
All right. Used to work with a guy who... Don't tell me that. That's not how I even want to start.
Cascabeles, cascabeles, hoy es Navidad. Es un día de alegría y de felicidad. Cascabeles, cascabeles, hoy es Navidad. Es un día de alegría y de felicidad.